Everybody, Jer here on Tuesday, 22nd of November with some Leeds news. Some bits floating around, but the main story that we'll get to in a couple of minutes will be a court case involving Andrea Radrizzani and the sale of his former company, which could cost Leeds in the window. We're also going to just talk a little bit about the Bielsa update on Bournemouth, some links of players to Leeds, as well as some stats from Tyler Adams' World Cup debut, which was fantastic. Also, just to say well done to England yesterday on a fantastic win. Conceding 2 goals, though, against Iran. Not amazing, but the goals were very, very, very well taken. It was a very good attacking performance. And again, the USA, fantastic game yesterday as well. Great performance from the Leeds lads. Interesting to see Aronson on the start from the bench on that one. But well done, Tyler Adams. We'll say hello to a couple of people before we get into the news. See if we got Blinky Fish. Good afternoon. It is afternoon, isn't it? Good afternoon. Beck 10 afternoon, Jer from Donegal. Love the channel. Donegal, lovely part of the country. And Liam is in the chat there as well. Liam, how you doing? How's things? Hope you're all well. So we'll move on. We'll start off with Bielsa. According to Football Insider, talks between Marcelo Bielsa and Bournemouth have broken down. We can all relax. Finally, they have broken down. And doesn't look like they're going to go any further. Gary O'Neill is expected to be given the job now on a permanent basis, on a 3-year deal, which could actually help Leeds, considering what Bielsa. We all know what Bielsa will do for teams and elevate them and all that. So, possibly good news. Still the possibility of him going to Everton. They're still linked with him, and still the hilarious, ironic decision that could be made to replace Fafranc with Bielsa. I love it. Love to see it. Love to see it. Who have we got? Nipper. It's freaking fire here in Tenerife. You keep doing it, man. Jason O'Keefe, afternoon. It is a mucky day. Yeah, my dogs are locked in the house today. Big Stu Phil, A up. And Ice Bailey. Evening, everyone. Evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in the world, as an old friend of mine, Tom, used to say. So we'll move on then, and let's talk about Andrea Radrizzani and the main story that has gone around yesterday and today. Andrea Radrizzani finds himself in a position where he may have to fork up £50 million of his own money, which obviously could then affect Leeds. This relates to the sale of his previous club, MP and Silva. He was involved in the consortium that owned that before he bought Leeds. A judge ruling in the court has basically said that there's some issues with the sale, and they could see him pay up to 50 million, and that may affect Leeds' January plans. Radrizzani himself would like to split this court case into 3 separate court cases, and the reason for that would be one of them, if they win it, the other 2 don't matter. So he wants to front load that, have that one first, so the other 2 don't have to take place. And this is because the cost of going to court is 50 million without winning or losing. Just the cost of going there would cost him 50 million. They have asked to split this court case into 3, and the judge so far in this case has said no and would like some further updates. Adam Pope, speaking on the Don't Go to Bed Just Yet podcast, said that the defendants are asking for the trial to be broken into 3 parts because a single trial would cost 50 million just to go trial, never mind win. Adam went on to say that the judge has said no at this stage and wants alternatives put forward. And then Adam went on at the end of the piece to say it makes him a little bit puzzled as to who is going to hold the purse strings come January. And that's an interesting question. One of the issues we saw in the summer with the net spend was San Francisco 49ers cannot put any money into Leeds unless Radrizzani puts money into Leeds. They can only match what he puts in. He put none of his own money in during the summer. He just basically spent what we sold. And it looks like if he loses 50 million or has to put that aside, that could affect Leeds in January. And it could also mean a bit more information as to why the 49ers deal keeps popping back up. And is this going to happen earlier? We talked yesterday about the 49ers deal possibly being done as early as the end of January. Could this be why it's being pushed forward, that the 49ers are looking at this thing and there's some money needs to go in here. We need to get some money into this club, and we can't do that if Radrizzani's not putting any money in. So let's push through the takeover and get it done early. So it's an interesting situation. It's going to cost Andrea money. You also have John Kevin Augustin money as well that has to come out, and that will come out of Leeds directly, but it has to come from somewhere, doesn't it? And we just nip back in the chat real quick and see who's there. We've got Derek. Good morning, Derek. How are you doing? We've got Andy. Afternoon, Andy. How are you? And Liam. Tyler Adams, the future Leeds captain. See, he was encouraging his players, very vocal. He was excellent. He was absolutely excellent yesterday. We'll talk about him now. First thing is to say congrats to Tyler Adams on getting the captaincy of the US national team. It's a huge deal over there. It's a huge deal for him. The other side to this as well is how he actually played on the day. And he's still young. Like, you forget how young Tyler Adams is. He won more tackles. I think he's 5 tackles in a game than any other player. And he has covered more ground or more distance, 13.5 kilometers to date, than any other single player in the World Cup so far. And that's only 3 days of a World Cup, but still, he's covered more ground. He's doing more work. He's winning more tackles than anybody else. It bodes well. He is a person that I would love to see as a Leeds captain when we get to the changing of the guard and certain players start to move on at the end of the season, maybe next year. Be nice to see him step in as the captain. So I saw a lot of people today saying get him on a longer term contract and up his wages, and I would be in agreement with that as well. He really stood out yesterday. He covered so much ground and was everywhere. It was brilliant. It was brilliant. What we got in the chat? We've got Justin A up from Kentucky. Wow. Thanks, Justin. Jim Housen. Adams was elected by his teammates. That says an awful lot. That's one of the reasons Liam Cooper is the Leeds captain. He was nominated by the players. That's a huge, huge endorsement. Tonya Flaherty. Hi, Jerry. Enjoy your live streams. Watch. And we've got Ollie. It'd be nice to have a centre back with Adams' attitude and ability. Yeah, well, those players don't come around that often, unfortunately. But we've got some players who, like Cooper. I have my issues with Cooper, but he does try. He does give everything to the team, so can't criticize him for that part. I never will criticize him for his effort. Just his ability at the moment. We'll move past it. The last piece today, before I let everyone go and enjoy the rest of the World Cup and I go back to work, is incoming news. And according to Leeds Live, Leeds could be interested in rebel Serie A midfielder Sasa Lukic. Lukic is currently frozen out of the Torino team because he refused to sign a contract extension in the summer and wants to move away from the club and tried to force him to move away during the summer. Torino didn't let him leave. He was their captain. He was stripped of his captaincy. He's currently at the World Cup with the Serbian national team. He has said himself that as soon as the World Cup is over, he wants to leave Torino. He has 13 goals and 147 appearances for Torino so far. It's an interesting one because there's an attitudinal piece there, isn't there? Like, if he's trying to get away from a club, do we want that kind of player? We've had a few of them in the past ourselves, but we'll have to wait and see with that. I'd love to know what your thoughts on this. We've been linked with a couple of people who maybe have bad attitudes. Noah Lang being another example. Do we want that kind of person in the dressing room? He might not be a troublesome person at all. He could be just wanting to leave Torino. He just might not be happy with being there, wants to further his career, and they might not be playing ball. So there's a lot of ifs, buts, maybe stuff floating around there as well. So it'd be interesting to see what happens there. But he's a half-decent midfielder. It would be nice to get another midfield option in there. If Leeds are looking at selling Adam Forshaw in January, and we have looked at other people moving on as well, it would be Matthias Klick, especially if he moves on in January. Leeds will need to bring in replacements for those players and younger replacements at that as well. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. And we'll fly through chat before we wrap everything up. What you're taking all the extra time being added. I saw a reason for this yesterday, and I didn't read it properly, and I should have. But there is a reason for it, and you can probably find it if you look it up. There was I think BBC maybe gave an exact reason as to why there was so much ad time. The reality is, it's stopping time wasting. Like, you see how much Leeds have suffered with time wasting this year, and if time was added on, maybe teams would stop it a little bit. So it could be from that perspective, but I don't know 100%. Hello from Washington, D.C. Hello. I think I met you on tour of Ellen Road. Really? I've done a couple of tours of Ellen Road. Which was it snowing that day? Because if it was snowing that day, then I did meet you. And that's a couple of years ago. And who we got here? Quinn's dude, like 10 years ago. 10 years ago. 10 years ago would have been I did a corporate tour. I snuck onto a corporate tour with my dad. About 10 years ago. Was that the one? Chino was in charge, was he? Because we were in his suite. I need to know this now. Let me know. Ollie. Ability, yeah, absolutely cracking ability. You're looking a bit pale there, Jerry, to be honest. You're killing me, man. You're absolutely killing me. Liam, thanks for the great stream. Anytime, Liam. Love doing it. Massimo, mate. Oh, yeah. Massimo Cellino's selling his club in Italy because he's up for he's in court again. Imagine that. Whoever saw that one coming. Massimo Cellino back in court again and selling his club. Norway, love the content. Keep it the good work. Rasmus starting today. Yes, hope it's a great tournament. I really, really do hope it's a great tournament. And Derek here, Rads need to set up. Yeah, I think he is holding us back. Quinn's dude, let me know because I have a picture somewhere around here of that actual tour. So let me know. I've done 2. I would be really interested to know that. That would be interesting. And pretty much that's it, folks. So, as I said, I'm going to try and do the live streams for the rest of the week. This week, it's just easier for me at work. I can dip in for my lunch break and do it and then dip back out. And if you have any comments on this, any topics you want discussed, let me know. I'd love to speak to you guys. I am planning on doing a breakdown of all the Leeds goals we've conceded this year in a kind of a system versus individual error to see which is which, just to kind of show it. You know, it's subjective to a degree, but we'll have a look at that. And I am also interested in doing kind of an opinion piece on Howard Wilkinson and about what he did for Leeds and why certain people within Leeds don't like him anymore or didn't like him for a period. So I'm planning on doing something like that as well. It would be interesting to kind of get as much fact on that, but they will be one-off long-form videos that will just drop on the channel randomly. So hoping to do some work on that this week and into the weekend, especially on the goals conceded before we come back after the World Cup. So you'll see that kind of content drop during the World Cup break as well. And then I'll try and keep doing the news every single day, but I'll do it as a live stream, so no graphics or any that kind of stuff for this week. But I will go back to the old format probably in a couple of weeks' time from next week. But this right now is just a bit right. Quinn, you're going to comment me offline. Perfect. Cool. Anytime. Cheers, guys. Love it. Great stuff. Folks, thanks very much for watching. I'll see you again tomorrow and have a fantastic day. See you tomorrow. Bye.